think that a lot of people in my industry feel the same way I feel. We're classic liberals. We believe in freedom of all kinds. And I feel like the whole liberal Democrat Party has been hijacked. Look, I mean, I know the history of the party, and I do know that they were responsible for a lot of, not so great things. But at the same time, I feel more aligned right now with a lot of conservative values, maybe not socially, but I don't think the social issues are the issue right now. I think that they are more global. I think we need to focus on that. People get very swept up in these social divisions and polycrises and all of that, and it's just keeping us from what's really going on behind the curtain.
Yeah, that's so. I think it's something that people can agree with, right? When they're tuning in and they're listening to what you say, but you might not always find that with Hollywood celebrities. Quite frankly, they live much different lives than you'd find, your average everyday American who's just trying to work hard to put food on the table. And there is such a disconnect between folks who never have to worry about their safety because they've got private security, or folks who don't have to worry about their next paycheck because they're getting paid millions by the movie industry here. But you think there are other celebrities in Hollywood who might feel the same way? Why would they be so hesitant to publicly say that?
I lost everything. So once I was out there, I said, well, this is where there's nothing left for me to do. I'm not going to lose anything else as far as my career goes. They can lose everything. I mean, you just look at the shareholders, follow the money, and recognize who's paying, signing your final paycheck. I'm operating outside of the whole industry at this point. I was never a part of Hollywood really, so I've always been very anonymous, though, so I enjoyed my anonymity. No one really knew anything about me other than my roles that I've played. But, so many twists and turns over the last 3 years, I couldn't unsee what I was learning. You leave an actor at home for 3 years and don't let them work, they're going to become the FBI, which is the Female Bureau of Investigations. And I just feel like what I saw and what I learned, you can't go back after that, I feel like.
Drea, one of the big talking points right now, you talk about females, it's women's sports or women's protections, which we've talked about earlier here. They're facing this time where biological men are allowed to compete in women's sports, biological men are allowed in the female locker room, changing areas, etc., to where now many women are having to push back legally against this administration for changing these Title IX laws, Title IX rules that protect women, protecting them from biological men in women's spaces. And this has been something that has been controversial even for liberals to talk about. Bill Maher coming out against that. He's a known liberal as well. Others talking about that. I'm curious to know, as a woman yourself, do you have feelings on that?
Well, I have kids, so, I have a 16-year-old daughter who won't even get undressed in front of another girl, let alone knowing that there might be men in a locker room or sports. I know that Sage Steele, really caught a lot of heat for just stating the biological facts. When we were in the middle of a time where, you had all these people screaming, follow the science. Well, we are following the science, right? We have two sexes. This is the way it's still going to be this way when you're filling out forms and you're, dealing with your IDs and all of that stuff. So we can't just pick and choose when we want to pick and choose. However, that all being said, I have so many gay friends. My daughter had a trans friend. To each his own. That's my libertarian heart too. But when it comes to little kids, I have a hard time with trying to change anybody. I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all for everybody. I also don't really believe that this administration really cares about these kids the way they pretend they do. I think that there have been so many pawns in this they've been using so many social issues as pawns to just tear us apart. I don't think we need a government to tell us we're okay if we have different sexual preferences. I think we need our neighbors and our friends and our family to be okay. But when it's all government regulated stuff, it just starts to feel like intense overreach.